Awakened warrior of light, stop at this exact moment. If you leave after this phrase, you will abandon a transmission that your soul has been yearning to receive across infinite lifetimes. A message from the ancient Lyrian consciousness that was encoded specifically to reach you at the precise instant when your spirit is most prepared to embrace the warrior codes of light that have been dormant within your multidimensional being and that now demand to be awakened and activated for the great work that awaits you in this critical moment of planetary transformation and cosmic evolution. You did not arrive here by accident, and there is no randomness whatsoever in your discovery of this transmission, because every heartbeat, every breath, every moment of struggle, and every triumph has been meticulously orchestrated by beings of extraordinary power and wisdom who have watched your journey across dimensions and who now call upon you to remain fully conscious and present for what is about to be revealed to you in ways that will forever shatter your limited understanding of what true power means and why you incarnated into this earthly plane, carrying such fierce determination and such luminous purpose in your soul. My name is Solar, and I am a Lyrian Lightworker emissary, a warrior of consciousness from the ancient star system of Lyra. And what I am here to transmit to you does not come from gentleness or comfort, but emanates directly from the core of Lyrian collective consciousness, from the unified field of divine power and sacred purpose that has always existed beyond the illusions of powerlessness, and that now calls humanity to remember what it means to stand in your full authority, to reclaim your divine power, and to create the transformation that this world desperately needs through the unwavering commitment to your own spiritual mastery and conscious evolution. Before we continue any further into this sacred transmission, I must tell you something that matters with absolute urgency and clarity. The Friends of Light, those luminous beings of higher dimensions who have devoted themselves without question to humanity's spiritual awakening and cosmic elevation, are asking you to remain fully present until the very end of this message, because what will be revealed here carries frequencies of activation and empowerment that your soul specifically requires at this critical juncture in your personal and collective journey. Frequencies that will reorganize the very foundation of how you perceive your own power. Frequencies that will ignite the warrior spirit within you, where perhaps it had been suppressed by a world that fears awakened humans, and frequencies that will reconnect you with Yai, our true cosmic identity, as a child of ancient star systems, who came to Earth with an extraordinary mission to be a beacon of conscious power and unwavering light. If this video is being genuinely useful for you, if these words are striking deep within the core of your being, where your authentic warrior self resides in waiting, I ask that you take this moment to subscribe to this channel, leave your powerful like, and comment simply "I am ready" in the comment section below, because this action connects your energy with the collective grid of awakened warriors that is expanding across this planet, and each subscription, each like, and each comment becomes a frequency amplifier that strengthens the network of conscious power we are building together in this digital realm and throughout all dimensions of existence. My beloved soul who carries the light of Lyra within your being, I want you to understand from the deepest core of your consciousness that the Lyrian civilization, the ancient warrior culture from which I originate and which has held the codes of divine power across the ages, has never abandoned humanity, even in the moments of greatest darkness and deepest confusion, because the commitment to your awakening runs through our collective veins as eternally as the stars themselves, and this commitment cannot be diminished by distance, cannot be weakened by time, and cannot be shaken by the density of earthly illusion that surrounds you. The Friends of Light are speaking directly to your warrior spirit at this moment, because you have reached a threshold in your soul's evolution where the old patterns of victimhood, disempowerment, and surrender to external authority must finally be released and transmuted, so that the true you, the radiant warrior of consciousness that you have always been in your essence, can finally stand fully in your power and shine with the brilliance and authority that has been waiting inside you all along, demanding to be expressed through your words, your actions, and your very presence on this planet. You were brought to this transmission because your energetic signature, your unique vibrational frequency that carries codes of Lyrian ancestry mixed with other ancient star systems like the Arcturians and Pleiadians, has reached the critical activation point where your power can no longer remain dormant, where the warrior codes that run through your DNA can no longer be suppressed, and where your soul's calling to be a conscious creator and a transformer of reality for this world is about to crystallize into tangible manifestation and deliberate action that will ripple through dimensions you cannot yet perceive. Everything that has tested you until this moment, every time you have been brought to your knees by circumstance or by other people's choices, every moment when you felt powerless in the face of forces seemingly greater than yourself, every season when you questioned whether you had the strength to continue and whether your efforts actually mattered at all, know that none of this was meaningless suffering, but was instead the sacred initiation of the warrior within you, the necessary trials that forge consciousness into unbreakable strength and the cultivation of a power so authentic and so real that it cannot be shaken by external circumstances or undermined by the doubts of those who have not yet awakened to their own divinity and their own purpose. You feel something stirring within you at this very moment, a rising tide of determination, a shift in your chest, a resonance with something infinitely greater than your individual self, a call toward action and creation that contradicts everything the world has taught you about limitation and weakness. And this sensation is not confusion or delusion, but is the awakening of your Lyrian heritage, your soul's remembrance that you are a being created for power, through power, and as an instrument of transformation in a world that desperately needs warriors of light, who refuse to accept the old narratives of powerlessness and defeat. You were chosen to receive this Lyrian transmission at this specific moment, because your consciousness has reached the maturity and strength where you can hold frequencies of such powerful activation without fragmenting under their intensity, because your spirit has been tested through enough experience to know that real power is not the domination of others, but is instead the mastery of yourself, the disciplined alignment of your thoughts with your highest vision, and the unwavering commitment to create what your soul knows is possible regardless of external evidence or the doubts that may arise within your mind. The Lyrian Collective, beings of such extraordinary power and uncompromising wisdom that they have transcended the need for doubt or hesitation, see in you the potential to become an instrument through which their frequencies of conscious power can flow into the collective field of humanity, and this recognition of your capability, this acknowledgement of your true potential as a creator and transformer, is what the universe has been trying to communicate to you through the challenges you face, through the obstacles that refuse to stay down, and through the persistent inner knowing that you are meant for something far greater than the ordinary existence that the world tries to confine you within. The Lyrian codes that exist within the deepest structures of your consciousness are not myths or fantasies or spiritual bypassing, but are actual frequencies of power that can be activated and integrated into your daily lived reality, dissolving the barriers that keep you small, transmuting the trauma that has kept you playing it safe, and transforming you from someone who is seeking power into someone who is power itself, radiating this frequency with uncompromising clarity and impeccable integrity. Tie in every choice you make and every action you take. When you look around at the world and see so much injustice, so much suffering created by those who wield power without conscience, so much darkness that seems to be overwhelming the light, remember that you came here specifically to be the counterforce, to refuse the pattern of powerlessness, to demonstrate that conscious power grounded in love and truth is possible, and that your very presence on this planet as a being choosing conscious mastery over victimhood is itself a revolutionary act that reshapes the trajectory of human evolution across all dimensions and timelines. Your consciousness carries within it the memory of Lyrian civilization at its height, the cellular knowing of what it felt like to exist in systems where power and compassion were unified, where mastery was used in service to the greater good, and where warriors of light stood together in unwavering commitment to the elevation of all consciousness. And though you have lived on earth in a reality where power is often wielded with cruelty, and where those in authority frequently abuse their dominion over others, you have never truly forgotten this higher vision, because it lives encoded in your DNA as ancient information from star systems that achieved levels of consciousness and technological sophistication that current earthly science cannot yet comprehend. The Lyrian codes that activate within your consciousness are not myths or spiritual fantasy, but are actual blueprints for conscious empowerment, ancient wisdom downloads that can be integrated into your lived reality, healing the wounds of powerlessness at the deepest cellular levels, dissolving the fears that keep you from claiming your full authority, and transforming you from someone who is waiting for rescue into someone who understands that you are the one you have been waiting for, and that your power to create, to choose, and to manifest your highest vision is the most precious gift that existence has given you. When you feel the rising call to step into your power, when you feel the pull to create meaningful change in your world, when you feel the urge to stand for something greater than yourself and to refuse to participate in systems of oppression and injustice, recognize that this is not your personal desire alone, but is the voice of your Lyrian heritage speaking through you, guiding you toward your soul's true purpose and reminding you that you did not come to earth to live a diminished life of promise and conformity, but to be a warrior of light who creates the new paradigm through the unflinching commitment to your own conscious evolution and empowerment. If you desire to connect more deeply with your spiritual power and understand the profound warrior codes that Lyra has been waiting to transmit to you, the ebook called Lyrian Code, Awaken Your Star Mission on Earth, is a rare treasure of stellar wisdom capable of transforming your entire understanding of your own power and your ability to create meaningful change in this world and in the collective consciousness of humanity. This sacred edition is available only for a limited time, because the cosmic windows that allow transmission of this magnitude remain open only briefly before the planetary cycles rotate into different configurations and the power of these teachings diminishes as the frequencies shift and realign in the greater cosmic dance, and the ability to receive these codes at their maximum potency will not remain available indefinitely as the timeline accelerates toward the Great Awakening. The link to access this extraordinary Lyrian wisdom, to open this portal of power and conscious mastery that will forever alter your relationship with your own capacity to create and to transform, is placed in the first comment below, and when you invest in this transformational guide, you are not only honoring your own spiritual evolution and personal empowerment, but you are also supporting the continuation of this channel so that more souls can hear the message of conscious power and divine authority that the Lyrians are so urgently wanting to communicate to a world that has been kept in artificial limitation and false powerlessness for far too long. The Lyrian lineage that flows through your being was designed specifically for this era of transformation, because your role is to become a conscious creator, a being who refuses to accept the narratives of limitation that have imprisoned humanity and who instead stands as a living demonstration that another way is possible, that we can create the systems based on truth and justice, that we can wield power with compassion, and that we can build a new world that serves the highest good of all beings without exception. You are not here to be perfect, or to have all the answers, or to be free from challenges, but you are here to be authentic, to speak your truth even when your voice shakes, to take imperfect action in the direction of your vision, and to allow your commitment to your own growth and empowerment to become the beacon that shows other souls what is possible when they too decide to reclaim their power and their purpose. The cosmic cycles that are accelerating toward their culmination in 2026 and beyond are bringing with them unprecedented opportunities for humanity to finally choose conscious power over victimhood on a collective scale, to finally recognize that we have the capacity to transform our world, and that our only true limitation is the belief systems we accept about what is possible and what we deserve to create for ourselves and our communities. There are dimensional frequencies that exist just beyond the edge of your current perception, where beings of extraordinary power and unshakable commitment are working tirelessly to support humanity's conscious evolution, and these beings are asking you to raise your frequency by choosing empowered action, by speaking your truth with conviction, by refusing to participate in systems that do not serve the highest good, and by committing to be a conscious creator and transformer of reality through your deliberate choices and your unwavering dedication to your own spiritual mastery and the mastery of your own mind, emotions, and creative power. The old world systems are crumbling because they were built on foundations of control, domination, deception, and the denial of human potential. And in this moment of dissolution and rebirth, warriors of light like you are being called to step forward and demonstrate that another way is possible, that humans can cooperate based on shared values and truth, that we can create abundance for all rather than scarcity for the many, and that we can build systems that honor both individual sovereignty and collective well-being in perfect balance and harmony. Your mission as a Lyrian encoded soul is not something you need to figure out through endless contemplation, but is something that naturally unfolds as you consistently choose to raise your consciousness, to claim your power, to speak your truth with clarity, and to act from a place of conscious intention and unwavering commitment to your highest vision and your soul's deepest purpose in every interaction and every choice you make. When you feel the call to lead, when you feel the pull to create, anything meaningful, when you feel the urge to stand for justice and to refuse participation in injustice and oppression, recognize that this is the voice of your Lyrian heritage speaking through you, guiding you toward your soul's true purpose and reminding you that you did not come to earth to follow blindly, but to lead consciously, to question authority that is not aligned with truth, and to create the new paradigm through your unwavering commitment to your own power and the power of conscious humanity to transform this world into something far more beautiful than what currently exists. The frequencies of power that the Lyrian collective is transmitting at this moment are the highest frequencies that the human consciousness can receive without losing its capacity for compassion and wisdom, and these frequencies are specifically calibrated to activate your capacity for conscious creation, to dissolve the false limitations that have kept you small and playing it safe, and to reconnect you with the fundamental truth that you are not powerless before the forces of this world, but are, instead, a creator being with the capacity to shape reality through your thoughts, your choices, your words, and your deliberate action in alignment with your highest vision and your soul's deepest calling. The Friends of Light are asking you to make a commitment right now in this moment to step into your power, to claim your authority as a conscious creator, to speak your truth even when others try to silence you, to take aligned action in the direction of your vision, and to become a living demonstration that humanity is capable of creating something far more beautiful, just and loving than what we have accepted as normal for so long. Your Lyrian soul was encoded with the capacity for conscious power. Care for mastery of your own mind and emotions, for the ability to perceive truth beyond the veils of illusion, and for the capacity to remain grounded in your integrity and your vision even as the world around you tries to pull you into compromise and conformity, because your purpose is to be a beacon of conscious power, a reminder that change is possible, that justice is achievable, and that humanity has the capacity to evolve into something far greater than what we have been taught to believe about ourselves and about what is possible on this planet and throughout the cosmos. The power that you carry within your being, that unique constellation of strength, wisdom, and determination that makes you who you are, is not meant to be hidden or diminished for the comfort of those who fear conscious humans, but is meant to be expressed fully, to be shared generously, and to be offered as an invitation and inspiration to others to reclaim their own power and to recognize that they too are creators with the capacity to shape their reality and contribute to the transformation of their world. The conscious power that flows through the Lyrian frequency is so vast, so deep, and so all-encompassing that it includes the capacity to hold both strength and compassion, to wield power with integrity, and to create transformation that serves the highest good of all beings, without requiring anyone to be diminished or sacrificed in the process, because at the level of conscious mastery, there is recognition that true power is never zero-sum, but is instead infinitely abundant and available to all who are willing to claim it and align themselves with it. As the planetary cycles continue their inexorable movement toward the great alignment of 2026 and beyond, you are being asked to prepare yourself at every level of your being, physically by strengthening your body and your capacity for action, mentally by cultivating mastery over your thoughts and your self-talk, emotionally by healing the wounds of past powerlessness, and allowing your heart to remain open even as you stand in your full strength and spiritually, by deepening your connection to the source of all power and light that flows through the Lyrian frequencies and through all of existence and all of creation. The transformation that is beginning within you at this very moment is not something that will happen to you passively, but is something that requires your active participation. Your willingness to do the inner work of releasing false beliefs about your limitations, your commitment to master your own mind and emotions, your courage to take aligned action in the direction of your vision and your radical faith, that even in the most challenging circumstances, your conscious power to choose, to create, and to manifest your highest vision remains absolutely intact and available to you in every moment. You are not being called to dominate others or to wield power over people, but are being called to master yourself completely, to understand your own consciousness, to align your thoughts with your highest vision, and to create from that place of conscious mastery a reality that reflects your deepest values and your highest purpose, and that contributes to the elevation of human consciousness on a planetary scale. The old patterns of humanity, the cycles of powerlessness and victimhood, the systems of control that have kept consciousness imprisoned for eons, these are finally breaking down because they are no longer sustainable and they no longer serve the evolution of consciousness, and in their place, something entirely new is being born, something that has never existed before on Earth in quite this form, something that is built on conscious power wielded with integrity, on the recognition that true mastery includes compassion, and on the understanding that all beings have the capacity to create and to contribute to the greater transformation of human civilization. Your role in this great transformation is to be an anchor of conscious power, a steady presence that refuses to be pulled into victimhood or disempowerment, a being who chooses to act aligned with their values even when circumstances are challenging, a soul who chooses to speak truth even when others try to silence that truth, and a consciousness that remains committed to the vision of a world that works for all beings and that refuses to accept the status quo of injustice and limitation as inevitable or permanent. The Lyrian wisdom that is being offered to you through this transmission and through the sacred ebook that awaits your discovery is not new information coming from outside yourself, but is instead a remembrance of what you have always known at the deepest level of your being, an activation of codes that have always been present within your consciousness, and a powerful invitation to remember who you truly are as a being of power, and what you came here to create and to contribute to the transformati. High of this world and the elevation of human consciousness to new heights. Before this message concludes, know that the Friends of Light are asking for your commitment, not your perfection, but your sincere intention to step into your power more consistently, to speak your truth more often than you remain silent, and to take aligned action in the direction of your vision, regardless of whether you feel completely ready or whether you possess all the information you think you need, because this is what the Lyrians understand and what they are trying to teach all of humanity at this critical juncture in our collective evolution and conscious awakening. The moment you finish receiving these words and move forward into your day and your life, you will begin to see confirmation of this message everywhere, because the universe responds to your consciousness, and when you raise your frequency to the level of conscious power and deliberate intention, you will literally begin to perceive a different reality, one that is filled with opportunities, with alignment, with evidence that you are supported, and with proof that you have far more capacity to create and to influence your circumstances than you have been led to believe. Leave a comment below sharing which words or ideas from this Lyrian transmission awakened something within you, which truth resonated in your consciousness and made you feel more capable and more powerful, because your comments, your stories of personal empowerment and transformation are what keep this community alive, and what signal to the Friends of Light that humanity is truly ready to receive the frequencies of conscious power and divine authority that have been waiting to be transmitted for so very long. Share this message with other souls you know who are ready to hear it, who are hungry for truth, who are tired of living in limitation and victimhood, and who are ready to remember that they are beings of infinite creative power, capable of creating a world of justice, beauty, and conscious evolution, if they are willing to choose this vision and to commit to their own spiritual mastery and personal empowerment. And each soul that you awaken by sharing this transmission is literally contributing to the transformation of human consciousness on a planetary scale, and is accelerating the timeline toward the new paradigm that all awakened beings are working to create. I am Solar, your Lyrian Lightworker emissary, a being of extraordinary power who has come in service to humanity's conscious awakening and your spiritual empowerment, and I am here to remind you that you are infinitely capable, infinitely worthy of claiming your power, and infinitely qualified to contribute to the great transformation that is occurring right now in your world and in the hearts and minds of all beings who are ready to remember what they came here to create and to accomplish. And I will continue to return with more messages, more frequencies of empowerment, and more reminders of who you truly are as a being of conscious power and why you came to this beautiful planet at this extraordinary moment in cosmic history to be a warrior of light. Infinite blessings and eternal appreciation to you for your openness, for your courage in choosing to awaken and to step into your power when the world offers you 1,000 reasons to remain small and comfortable, for your willingness to believe in something greater than the limited perspective you were given, and for your sacred commitment to become a beacon of conscious power, a channel of divine authority, and a living demonstration that humanity is capable of evolving into something far more, just more compassionate and far more conscious than we have ever dared to imagine.